For the musically inclined audiophile who values musicality over sheer technical perfection, are there inexpensive phono cartridges that can provide an exceptional listening experience without breaking the bank? I believe there are a few. And don't let the small price tags fool you, because some of the most emotionally engaging vinyl playback begins with an unassuming, budget-friendly cartridge and turntable setups. For those more interested in a musical connection than chasing specs, these cartridges can deliver warmth, detail, and a surprisingly rich tone. Today's video is about Grado's cheapest phono cartridge offering, the Green 3. It retails for $125 US. We're going to be discussing what makes the Grado unique, how it sounds with the usual album examples, and please watch till the end for comparisons to similarly priced cartridges and budget phono preamp recommendations. Hand assembled in Brooklyn by Grado's experienced craftsmen, Grado cartridges are renowned for a rich, natural, and musical sound. And the secret sauce, they say, for this recipe is 1. Their moving iron principle, and 2. Their optimized transmission line cantilevers. Let's tackle the first one. Grado's moving iron principle is a unique variation on traditional phono cartridge designs, offering an alternative to both moving magnet and moving coil systems. At its core, the moving iron design separates the stylus assembly from the generator in a way that enhances responsiveness and reduces moving mass, two key factors in accurate musical playback. Instead of attaching a magnet, as in moving magnet designs, or coils, as in moving coil designs, directly to the cantilever, Grado places a tiny piece of iron called the moving iron near a stationary pair of coils and fixed magnets. As the stylus traces the groove, the cantilever moves the iron, which modulates the magnetic field between the coils. This motion induces a signal, much like in other cartridge types, but because the moving part is lighter, it can track subtle groove modulations more precisely. Grado further refines this concept with its patented flux bridge system, which positions the coils closer together and closer to the stylus assembly. This compact geometry allows for a more direct signal path, which is supposed to result in increased clarity and a signature Grado sound, which is supposed to be warm, full-bodied, and emotionally resonant, especially in the mid-range. Now to number 2. What does optimized transmission line, or OTL cantilever, mean? Grado's OTL cantilever uses a multi-section telescoping design, typically made up of 3 connected elements that vary in diameter and material. These sections fit into each other much like the tubes of a telescope, which is why it's often called a telescoping cantilever. So why a telescoping design? The goal of this design is to control how energy, which in this case is vibrations from the record groove, how that energy moves from the stylus tip through the cantilever into the cartridge generator system. By using telescoping sections, Grado creates a mechanical filter that smooths out transmission of vibrations, reduces unwanted resonances, and thereby maintains signal clarity and speed. Each section of the cantilever is carefully selected and tuned so it contributes to this optimized pathway. Different materials like aluminum or alloys of varying thicknesses are used at different points to either transmit or damp specific frequencies. How it works is the diamond stylus rides the groove record, picking up tiny vibrations. Those vibrations move through the 3-section cantilever. The first section closest to the stylus is thin and ultralight, designed for speed and detail pickup. The middle section helps dampen excess energy and reduce mechanical ringing. The final section, often connected via a brass bushing, ensures stability of transmission to the coil assembly. The Green 3 features this 3-piece OTL cantilever. Ultra-high purity copper coils are precisely wound in the generator inside for accurate channel balance and stereo imaging. A twin magnet system and Grado's patented flux bridger design provides low moving mass and a balanced frequency response. The desired end result is a transmission of a signal that carries the music's dynamics, harmonics, and timing intact without added noise or distortion. Now let's see if this cheapest offering from Grado sounds musically involving and detailed enough to satisfy the picky audiophile. The Grado Green 3 has an output of 4 millivolts that's suitable for most moving magnet phono stages, weighs about 9 grams. Stylus is a diamond elliptical. Recommended tracking force is anywhere from 1.6 to 1.9 grams. I installed the Green 3 on my Riga Planar 1 and on my vintage Pioneer PL12D. Phono stage used in this budget system is the Cambridge Audio Alva. Amplifier used here is the Jolita 3502 tube integrated, and speakers are my affordable but overachieving Acoustic Energy AE100 Mark IIs. First record I want to talk about is this funk-infused blues rock album called The Snake by Harvey Mandel, originally released in 1972. This album was recently reissued for the 2025 Record Store Day, but this particular copy is ancient and I found it in the bargain bin of a record store in Chicago some 20 years ago for almost next to nothing. Playing this album via the Grado 3 oozes with sonic warmth from the first note. The guitar tones are syrupy and smooth with just the right amount of tube-driven grit to make them feel alive, never harsh, always inviting. There is a velvety texture to the way instruments interact. The bass lines are paced with a mellow swagger, if you will. The kick drum hits deep, and Harvey Mandel's guitar slithers through it all with soulful phrasing and liquid sustain. The second track on this album is one of my favorites. It's called Pegasus, and it's an absolute gem. Listening via the Green 3 revealed a rich tonal palette, not necessarily very spacious sounding like pricier moving coil designs, but the tone made it very satisfying. The album's analog production shines through with a natural warmth, with layers of textured guitar work, subtly modulated effects, and a rhythm section that feels both grounded and alive. Harvey Mandel's signature sustain and phrasing are present with clarity. His notes just don't ring, they bloom. The soundstage also is not very wide. It's confined within the width of the speakers. I would describe it as intimate, revealing the nuances of vintage gear and tape saturation that give this album that distinctive character. For those attuned to microdynamics and tonal realism, this track Pegasus is a compelling reminder of how music can be both technically satisfying and emotionally resonant. Next up is Bob James' Sign of Times. This album's released in 1981, And it's a mixture of smooth jazz, funk, and the early electronic experimentation. The album blends lush arrangements, tight grooves, and sonic signature electric piano work with a polished studio feel. Tracks like Hypnotique and the title cut showcase Bob James' knack for melodic hooks and layered textures, while the overall vibe leans into the sophisticated mellow swagger that defined Bob James's early 80s output. First track on side 2 is called Unicorn. Queuing this up via the Green 3 cartridge, and the first notes arrive like a soft breeze, that unmistakable Rhodes, that warmth, dreamy, effortlessly cool presentation. It doesn't reach out and grab your attention, but it's presented just in a manner for you to appreciate and relish the tone. Then the bass comes in, subtle in the beginning, steady, rhythmic, and punchy as it progresses into the track. It doesn't shake the walls or pummel you in the chest, but it's anchoring. You do feel it and hear it. And when the sax glides in, it's an easy sense of flow. Throughout the track, you're not chasing detail here, but you are so involved in it, not analyzing, just absorbing the textures and the soundscapes. What is so pleasantly surprising is the depth of soundstage and the lovely harmonics that the Grado 3 manages to extract from the album. It's a reminder, you don't have to spend a fortune to fall in love with music you already know all over again. So how does this Grado Green 3 compare to similarly priced phono carts that I've experienced? Now, this is all very subjective and very system dependent, but in my setup, I feel that the Grado Green 3 and the Nagaoka MP110 sit on slightly opposite sides of the tonal spectrum when it comes to musical character. The Grado leans into this warm, lush, and full-bodied presentation. It wraps the music in a soft glow. It prioritizes emotional engagement over detail. The MP110, by contrast, offers a leaner, more controlled presentation. It tightens up the bass and pulls back the warmth, giving recordings a cleaner, more precise edge. Where the Grado romances, the Nagaoka observes. Both compelling, but tailored to very different listening moods. Versus the Audio-Technica VM95SH. In contrast, the VM95SH is more precise and articulate. The Shibata stylus on the SH adds a level of high-frequency clarity, bringing detail and transparency to the forefront while maintaining a tight, controlled bass response. The Audio-Technica VM95SH offers a more neutral and balanced presentation, making it well suited for those who prefer accuracy and detail over warmth. But it costs at least $75 more. This inexpensive, entry-level moving iron cartridge from Grado can serve as a gateway into rich analog sound, preserving the heart of the music while leaving room in the budget for more records. Watch this Phono Stage review as it makes a wonderful match for the Grado. Also, here's a vinyl playlist with tips to grow your collection on your budget. What other affordable cartridges have you experienced? Let me know in the comments below.